Okay, very good morning to all of you and a warm welcome to Sri Sayajibaug Zoo, Vadodara, a 145-year old institution. The entire Sayajibaug campus was established by our revered Maharaja, His Highness Shriman Maharaja Sayajibaug Gaikwad in the year 1879. 8th January 1879 happens to be the foundation day of Sayajibaug. Nowhere in the entire of the western city you find such a huge public garden right in the heart of the city. So from all the sides it is very well surrounded, but if you are here inside you don't even feel that there are heavily traffic road just a few meters away in any of the directions. When I sit in my office I don't even get a feel that anywhere we have densely populated city areas or there are traffic roads. We don't even feel that at all. As you are aware about the entire Sayajibaug campus, the entire campus is spread over an area of roughly 112 acres, of which roughly 55 acres is the garden area, somewhere 48 acres is the zoo area, around about some 3 acres plus is the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Planetarium, and then this big campus, the beautiful building what you can see in the backdrop, the Baroda Museum and Picture Gallery. This covers another around about roughly 7 acres of land, and then small administrative setup. So this how comprises the entire Sayajibaug. The first reason to stop here is just take a very short halt. Just wanted to show that small a chhatri, that umbrella inside the pond. Just have a look at that. This were some of those heritage structures erected right in those 19th century. Just have a look at the top peak, the pinnacle, nicely carved out of a wood thing, a conical roof, and just count the pillars. How many are there? 8. So I had shared in my talk that Maharaja Sayajibaug was a believer in numerology, and 8 was his lucky number. So whatever architecture you see, the octagon shape you will find very prominent. Now on my backdrop you can see the main and one of the most major projects of Vadodara Zoo, the Aviary. Vadodara Zoo was always a hub for birds. We had a very good collection of birds, and we used to even breed birds, exotic birds especially. Some of the birds which were only bred in Baroda. We had mastery in breeding many of the exotic birds, which was our strong point. So in the year 2018 we started off this particular project, and this beautiful aviary we have come up with. Again, when we had to come up with this aviary, we had to do away with the old cages. So that's where the old cages have gone, and these new cages, whatever you can see, are as per the norms of CZA. CZA has given the guidelines for housing of the animals, what space, how much space, size, dimensions should be given to the group of animals, birds and all. And along with that, we have this beautiful walk-in aviary, which is divided into 2 parts. We have a mixed species Indian aviary and a mixed species exotic aviary. Okay, so the entire aviary project is themed upon the bird classification, the bird taxonomy, and the zoo geographical distribution of the birds. Okay, so what we have is, so we have an entire section of Australian parrots, African parrots, Indian parakeets, then pigeons and passerines, then pheasantry, then hornbills and raptors, and then these 2 walk-in domes. So wherein we have this mixed species Indian aviary for aquatic birds. As you very well know, all of you Baroda people must be knowing about Vadodara, right? So Vadodara, wherein we get the migratory birds, the aquatic, especially the wetland birds are the migratory ones. We also have some of the resident species around, and those ones we have tried to house over here. So because they are all con species and they can easily compatible ones and they can live together. Similarly, the dome 2 has got the entire congregation of Amazon parrots. Now, what is the speciality of Amazon parrots? The entire Amazon region, the neotropical zoogeographical region comprising of Central America and the entire South America, that's called as a bird continent. The highest bird diversity in the world, you find it in neotropical region, that is the Amazon. So the Amazon species we have tried to represent in Dome 2. We played in vertical space, and as you can see, most important thing over here is I hardly had to develop the plantation. We had all these large trees already on the side, and we have seen that. See, we have encompassed all these trees inside the aviary. The birds housed in this Dome 1, there are two types. We have the granivorous vegetarian ones, and these are all the piscivorians. For them, the fish comes. The ducks and geese are granivorous. They feed upon all the grains and veggies, whereas the storks, pelicans, egrets and herons, they are all piscivorous. So the variety of fish comes, and they have been fed with the fish. Most important thing for a zoo, always remember one thing: zoo animals are not trained like circus animals used to be. The most important criteria of a zoo is we have to keep their natural sinistral intact. We don't have to alter their natural behavior. This building was actually prepared and was commissioned at Delhi when there was a Viceroy's meeting, and all the royals had gone. King George, when he had visited, and this particular pavilion was being erected over there by Maharaja Sayajibaug, and after that event was over, it was again. So as he is saying that his entire building is folding, completely can be dismantled into pieces, and it can be assembled at any new place. So the place where we are standing is Hathi Khana. This was the place wherein the elephants used to be housed. You can see these three large sheds. These sheds used to have 3 elephants, right? The 3 cow elephants gifted by the Maharaja, right? Champakali, Anarkali and Gulabkali. These were the 3 elephants which were gifted by the Maharaja to the zoo, and there used to be elephant ride which used to happen. Okay, so near bandstand there is I had mentioned in my talk then that there is a stand called Hathi stand, where the elephant used to come and stand. The children used to be mounted the ambari. The elephant used to take a big one round, again stand there. The children used to get down. The next lot of children used to sit. So this is how the elephant ride was there, and you can see these huge stone pillars, right? Pradeep sir is sitting on them, right? So a very nice, the 3 stone pillars in front. Similar 3 are on the back side for tying the elephant. Now, elephants were, one of the most cared animals by the royals. So, for elephant, a 24-hour care was there, and this particular structure, which is now renovated, right, was a Mahavat's quarter. Okay, we are the only zoo in the state onto whose establishment list we have a sanctioned post of Mahavat. No other zoo in Gujarat has got a sanctioned Mahavat post. So coming to the concluding part of the heritage walk today, what the objective or the focus was, because this is the last of the heritage structure. Now what we are remaining to cover. So this particular area where we are standing right now, it's very popularly in my book, it is called Mota Wagh Khana, right? So because it was especially meant for only and only housing the lions and tigers, especially tigers, right, and a little bit of lions also. Now you can see here there are 6 cages here, right? So this 4 cages smaller units and those 2 adjoining units, and on the back side is a huge open to sky cage of that time. A cage designed to house big cats in an open area and open to sky area. You cannot house leopards in that because leopards are very quick. They can cross over and escape. So lions and tigers are the ones which can be kept in the open. So this open cage concept was also there in that time. This is a Maharaja made structure, very much Maharaja made structure. One thing what I wanted to show you is, yes, if you see these units compared to the beautiful place where the tigers are moving, these are very short, very small spaces, very small spaces. But let me tell you one thing, these cages were made way behind in 19th century. The first ever cages made by the Maharaja. Now that time, as I said again, there was no bylaws or norms for spacing of the animal. Okay, the only purpose was to display the animal. The animal used to be to display, that was the only purpose. But let me tell you very important one thing. The cages have been so thoughtfully designed. Then also keeping two things in thing: animals' privacy and keepers' safety. As you can see here, right? See this almost 2-meter high platform. Okay, so since this particular section, you have seen that it's in a little, sunken depression, and there's a river passing from the behind. So when the flood or waters come, the animals can take. So this particular safety was already thought of, that the animal can go to the higher ground and keep itself dry till the flood water recedes down. Then you can see here, a small bay area, right? A darker zone wherein if the animal has cubs, right, the female can take a very safe shelter over there. Okay, and over here, if you stand even for some more time, you will not actually feel hot over here, because the wonderful thing is there in this roof. This particular roof is a sandwich roof. Okay, the roof on the top and the ceiling below has an air gap between. Okay, there's an air gap in this entire thing which keeps this structure very, very cool. So this is a natural air condition mechanism designed then.
Yes, I enjoyed the Heritage Zoo walk a lot. I would also like to thank Pratyush sir and his team. They explained us so many things about different species of animals, birds, reptiles, and he also explained about heritage monument in Vadodara, and he also explained about the zoo made by Sayajibaug Zoo. So I would like to thank him and his team. Thank you.
I think it was an interesting walk because we've all been coming to the zoo since childhood, and this is the first time that the zoo curator himself and his second in command showed the zoo and explained everything to us so well. And it's especially useful for kids because they get to know about things in detail. They don't learn about these things in school, not really, but over here it's more like hands-on education on the side. So I think from the kids' perspective, this is great. But even for adults, especially for the older lot who want to revisit their childhood memories, walk down the memory lane, something like that, then this kind of a walk is a fantastic idea. So I would really like to thank the Heritage Trust, the members, and the zoo curator and his team for making this happen. Thank you.
Like it? Oh, it was wonderful. I have been visiting the zoo ever since I've moved to Baroda, so almost 27-28 years. And of course, when my daughter was young, I used to get her to the whole Kamati Bagh for a long time. But then today, the way it was explained, I realized that it is not just a bunch of animals which are being looked after. It is a lot of heritage which is being, restored as well as maintained. And that takes a lot of effort. So I appreciate Dr. Pratyush Patankar and the Heritage Society for arranging such a thing. Thanks a lot.